Hey, what's up, guys? I'm here to give you another video. And I originally uploaded this Wednesday. However, it didn't work. It wouldn't upload. I couldn't even play the video. So I'm giving it to you again, and I'm kind of glad it didn't upload because that video was shit. I'm gonna make sure this time it's good. This is gonna be my first non-wrestling video. Last time I remember doing a non-wrestling video was, I think, when me and Adam did a TED review. It's been that long. I usually only talk about wrestling, but yeah, I want to start talking about some non-wrestling stuff, and this is gonna be the start. I may talk about some movies here and there, so it's gonna be good. Um, this called. I'm gonna talk about this show called Good Luck Charlie. My phone's being gay, so and it's a Disney Channel show. Now you think why would you? You're probably gonna. Yeah, see, it's just turned on. But you guys probably asking, why would you watch a Disney Channel show? Hey, what are you, a little kid? But that's the way it started out with this show. Like, I didn't like it at first. Well, I was forced to watch it. My sister forced me to watch it. I remember we were. Um, it says on Wikipedia that this show first came out on April 10th, 2010. I don't think that's true because I remember exactly what. Because I can remember I had just started high school. I came in as a freshman. I remember going in as a freshman, and my aunt was just getting married too, so it was a very crazy week. My cousins from Texas came down. It was crazy, yeah. But yeah. So that's really how it happened. We sat down and just watched it. We watched obviously some wrestling too, but we watched that show and I liked it. Started watching it not every week. Well, every week, yeah. But the new ones shows I would always miss because I'd be busy doing something else, so I would watch it on demand the next day or something. Um, so yeah, it definitely was September 10th, I think. So there's no way this could have been April. It was like I don't think it was the 10th. I think it was like the week of September. There's no way, but yeah. Anyhow, um, this is like about. I'm gonna talk to you more about what the show's about because when I review the first episode because it kind of gets into what it's about. But I guess I'm gonna talk to you about the characters first. We have well, actually I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna as I always talk about the show. I'll go it. So the first episode is called Study Date. Um, and this type and yeah, this is a very good title. I think it came out in September. Um, it says April 10th, 2010, but that's not true. Um, the show starts off with Teddy Duncan, which is played by Bridget Medler, and if you don't know, she was in if you watch Wizards of Waverly Place, she was the vampire Juliet. She was her, and pretty much what she was doing was making a video diary. And what that is, if you don't know, is when she gets in the camera like I am right now, and makes a video, because I guess since she's not gonna, because her youngest child, Charlie, who is played, I still have the notes on my phone too, so I don't know who she's played by. I'm gonna find it. Fucking gay. My fucking phone shut off. Yeah, but she's played. I'm gonna tell you in a second, but that's fucking gay. My phone has been doing like this weird thing where it will shut off randomly. Okay, hold on. Okay. Is this it? Characters. Here we go. Alright, Charlie is played by Mia. I can't say this name, so if I get it wrong, I'm sorry. Talarico. Um, I don't think she's been in the show because she's like a baby in this episode, so no. Um, and she's afraid that she won't be around when Teddy's afraid that she won't be around when Charlie is getting older because she won't be because she's like 16. So she's making these video diaries to help her survive as a teenager, teaching her lessons like family, teenager stuff, just weird stuff. Because you're gonna find out as the time goes on that this show kind of gets a little weirder and weirder. And Teddy's the second oldest in the family. Charlie is the youngest in the family, obviously. And we also have I'm trying to Amy Duncan, who is played by Lee Allen Baker. And if you don't know who that is if you've seen Hannah Montana, I was forced to watch an episode once with my sister, and she is she was on like a talk show that Hannah Montana would go on, which is Miley Cyrus in there. So yeah, she's on that talk show. And yeah, she went on that talk show. I don't recall her being in anything else. And she's taking care of the kids. She's the mother. And Teddy said this funny like look how lovely mom looks in the morning or something like that. It was like look how beautiful she looks, and she was like all mess with like baby food all over her. She was a mess. And Charlie, I think it's just starting to eat people food. Like she's not eating baby food anymore. And she was eating the bananas like the father would. Um, and she actually says, "Here's some yummy carrots. Mommy loves them." And then Amy went to try the carrots, and she ended up spitting back in. I thought that was really funny. And then we meet P.J. Duncan, who is played by I think he's the next one, played by Jason Dolly. He was in Cory in the House. And he was like that idiot. I think his name was Newt. Don't know what his name was. And he was in Hatch and Pete, and obviously his name was Pete. He was like the main character. It was in a movie that was on Disney Channel. And Teddy says, because he's like one of those kids that gets things done at the last second, you're gonna find out that he's like an idiot throughout the series. And he's talking about because Teddy says, "Oh, here's Gabe. Here's PJ doing today's homework as usual," and he's like, "Today isn't it? This isn't today's homework. This is yesterday's homework." I thought that was funny. Um, so then we meet Bob Duncan, and PJ Duncan, by the way, is the oldest child. We meet Bob. Oh, I think I went past him. Bob Duncan, who is played by Eric Allen Kramer. I don't think he was in anything before. I never seen him in anything, but if he was, tell me. Um, and he's the father, and he is an exterminator. And Teddy says, He kills bugs for a living. He's like, I don't kill bugs. Yeah. That's exterminators get rid of bugs. I think that I don't remember what he said. And he said that now you've met the entire family, but that she forgot about Gabe because Gabe is played by I think he's the next one. Okay, next one. And Gabe's the third oldest. He's played by Bradley Stephen Perry. I don't think he was in anything else either, but you can comment down below if he was. And pretty much what role he plays into the thing is he doesn't like the fact that Charlie he is not a fan of Charlie because he was the youngest kid before Charlie came in and he got all of the attention. Now he's kind of like being forgotten about with Teddy because he's like, and Teddy had forgotten about. He's like, no, I was just saving the best for last. So after Teddy's done finishing her video diary, um, Amy announces that she's gonna go back to work because she's a nurse, and she wants everybody to stay home to help because Bob's gonna take care of the baby, and I guess he's hasn't taken care of a baby before. But Teddy's not happy about this because she has a study date with a cute guy named well, this is what she says. I'm not saying named Spencer, and I'm gonna actually pull him up. And his name's Spencer Walsh, and he's played by Shane Harper. I don't think he wasn't seen anywhere before either. And they kind of have been liking each other. She talks about since in high school. We didn't really find out about that because it doesn't show that. And then PJ makes like the joke, "Don't you mean a studly date?" Because when people in high school have a study date, it's not really going to be a study date. It's going to be more flirting and stuff. And then Teddy actually makes this joke. Why did you guys have to make another? Well, why did you guys have to have another baby? And Amy says, well, because 3 was just too easy. 3 is for quitters. And then Bob says, why didn't you tell me about anyway, you know you can't bring a boy over unless I met him first. No, you know you can't have a date with the boy unless I met him first. And he's like, come on, I want to know every little detail of my kid's life. And Gabe says, oh yeah, what school do I go to? And he's like, the one, the one named after that president. And then he just realizes he has to get the children to school. Gabe says, but I never got breakfast. Most importantly, the meal of the day, I never got. And then Bob says, come on, we got to get you to Roosevelt. And then he's like, Lincoln. So he got the name of the school on. Hang on, I got to answer this text real quick. Anyhow, what was I? Oh yeah. And then the song plays, and if you haven't seen the song, it's probably on YouTube, so you can look it up. Then the scene starts, and Amy's about to go off to work, and she talks about how there's this list of things that Bob needs to do, like feed when he has to do these certain things, like when to feed Charlie, when to hold her, put her down, put her for a nap, stuff like that. And then Bob says, Big Daddy's got this all under control. And Amy says, yeah, just because that's on your barbecue apron doesn't mean it's true. And then Bob also says, come on, honey. I got this one. I was fully involved in the raising of 3 kids. And then Gabe says, oh yeah, when's my birthday? And he says, July 12th. And he's like, November 23rd. And he's like, got it. So he didn't even know when Gabe's birthday was. I thought that was hilarious. And then Amy leaves to go to work. Gabe asked Bob a homework question. I thought this was really funny. When if the average human can lick his own armpit. And then and then Bob ended up licking his own armpit. And then he ends up doing it, so he answers yes. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna lick my armpit. And then Bob asks, so what was that? Like a science question? And Gabe's like, nope. So then Bob realizes that Gabe did this just to humiliate him. And then the doorbell rings, and Teddy's like, I'll get it. Nobody else get it. So you know it's gonna be someone that she wants to talk to, and it ends up being Spencer. And then they both kind of flirt and say hi, and Bob's like, hi, being like the protective daddy he is over the daughter. And this kind of makes me wonder, though, like, why are dads more protective over their daughters than their sons, it seems like. Like, I notice in the movies it's the dads that are protective over the daughters and the moms that are protective over the sons. I think that's how it is in life, too. Like, it's kind of strange. Maybe because like they know like the kind of boys that maybe like because like the dad knows the kind of boys that they're gonna meet, so they bend in that experience, so they don't want the girls to experience the same thing, and same thing for the mom. I just always found that interesting, but you never know. But then trying to remember. Oh, and then Bob's like, hey, I thought mom said no study date, and then he's like, yeah, at the library. And then Bob's like, oh, so you've talked to her about this? He's like, oh yeah, of course I did. I mean, at least I think I did. I mean, she's like, oh, but I've talked, but I talked to so many people, different people about so many different things. And then Spencer's noticed because there's like a giant bug in the room, for like Bob's um, what's it called? Exterminator business. And Spencer says, why is there a giant bug in here? And then he's like, that is the Jerusalem cricket, also known as the potato bug. And he mentions, like, because he has his own company, it's called Bob the Bugs Be Gone. And then Teddy says this line that's kind of funny but cheesy. And he's like, how do we make Bob be gone? And he's like, okay, you got homework to do. I got a diaper to change. And he's like, hers, not mine. I ain't that old. And then he leaves. Teddy and Spencer start flirting each other because Spencer was doing stuff like Spencer supposedly forgetting his book, and they should end up sharing a book, which he probably didn't really forget his book. He probably either did it on purpose or he had his book the whole time. I don't know. My throat's a little dry. I don't have a drink. And then I finally remember. And then they would like go to grab a pencil. Spencer would use breath spray, and Teddy would use lip balm to get ready to kiss each other. And they were about to kiss each other, but then they hear loud rock and roll music going, and Spencer says, "It sounds like you live right near that weird PJ kid." And then, no, right next door to that weird PJ kid. And then Teddy's like, "He's not next door. He's downstairs, and he's my brother." And Spencer's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And she's like, "Yeah, me too." And then she goes downstairs. Um, PJ and Teddy comes downstairs and tells him to be quiet because we're trying to study. And he's just like, sorry sis, there's only one rule, rock and roll, and that's loud. And then, because like, and then, what's his name? Emmett, and I'm gonna go on because I don't know what this, and he's played by, forgive me if I say this name wrong too. It's Mika Stephen Williams. And PJ and Emmett are in a band. They've been also best friends since. It didn't really say. I'm gonna read it on Wikipedia. Yeah, it doesn't really say how long they've been best friends for, but they've been best friends for a while. And who am I hot here? Yeah, Emmett's been best friends with PJ, and they have a band again. It's called PJ and the Vibe, and PJ and he also has like a crush on Teddy, but Teddy doesn't want to ever want to go out with him. So they use that a lot in the series, obviously. PJ. So when Emmett said, "Hey, I think we should let her keep it down," and PJ's like, "Hey, this is called PJ and the Vibe," and Emmett's like, "So the Vibe doesn't get a say?" And then Emmett goes, "On the Vibe," and he's like, "I get it." "Oh yeah, I figured." And then he's like, "Oh, so you get my vibe, huh?" And then he realizes the joke was cheesy, so he just walks to the on the other side of the room. It was kind of funny. And then Teddy says, like, the next time I have to come down here, this chord's going in your head. Obviously, meaning figuratively, not literally. So then Teddy goes upstairs. Spencer and Teddy stop flirting again. This time, Spencer turns up the light, and Teddy throws a rubber ducky, which Amy did warn Bob that they're all over the house, so be careful. And she actually does say be careful. And she throws it at the I don't know what they call it. I think it's like an iPod I don't know what they call it in the TV show though. And they stop floating again. They're about to kiss, but Gabe's like, "What?" Comes up and says, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Ugh." And he's like, "Gabe, what do you want?" He's like, "Dinner? No one's fed me all day." And Teddy says, "There's a half-eaten sandwich in the fridge. Knock yourself out." And then she's like, "Okay, that's enough for my brothers. There will be no more interruptions." And then Bob interrupts, of course, which you knew that was going to happen. And he says, I just need you to watch the baby for a second." Then he trips on one of the rubber duckies, um, goes down the stairs. Charlie goes flying in the air. And obviously they use a fake doll for this because there's no way they really would have sent Charlie flying in the air. And it seems like there are times where there would be a fake doll in this episode, because there was like a time where Bob was holding Charlie over his shoulder, and it looked like a doll. It did not look like a real human. It looked like that Charlie was a doll. So there were at times when she was a real human, where it looked like that Charlie was a doll in this episode. Um, so yeah, Charlie goes flying in the air, but Bob ends up landing and ends up catching Charlie. And what the funny thing was doing this, they were going slow motion, of course, and Teddy was going no, and in like a high voice. Spencer was going no with a deep voice, and Gabe was eating the happy and he goes So I thought that was really funny. Um, and Bob's and Teddy's like, "Oh, thank God the baby's okay," and Bob's like, "But I'm not." And then he says, "Teddy, I need your PJ to fire up the bug truck because I gotta go to the hospital." And he says, "Teddy, you need to watch the baby." And she says, "No." Okay, so I thought that was kind of funny. So then PJ and Bob are driving to the hospital, and Bob says, "Oh, my butt is on fire." And so PJ are doing the rides being like annoying as fuck. Um, he ends up saying, sitting, because he said, "Me and Emma both saw it with that exact same title." And he starts saying, "My butt is on fire as the size of a tire." So I thought that was funny. And he's like, "Punch Buggy." And Bob's like, "What are you doing? Would you drive, please?" And he's like, "Do you want to play the license plate game?" He's like, "No." And then he says Michigan and plays anyway. So that was really funny. And then I think after that, Teddy and Spencer were at the house, and um, and she's trying to put Charlie down for a nap so she can study with Spencer. And they read this question like, what was it called? I don't even know too. I don't remember what the question was, but it was like a question where like it kind of defines shit, and Charlie ends up shitting her pants. I think it was like glucose or something. So then Teddy has to obviously go change Charlie. Back at the hospital, Bob's at the hospital, and he doesn't want Amy to know that he's there because it will, I guess, it will make her think that she can't go back to work. So he wants PJ to blend in, and he finds a doctor's coat that they would wear, and he puts it on, and he goes in the one of the patients, and he has a fish hook hanging from his mouth. Um, well, lip, but I'm in his mouth, same thing. And if you don't know who this is, if you've seen the show Lab Rats, he's the little black kid. Well, he's like the black kid that is on the show. I don't know his name, but I've seen advertisements for the show, so yeah, that's how it is. Um, and he's like, "Are you the doctor?" And he's like, "Yes, I'm Dr. Sunday Suluwan." And he's like, "Are you Indian?" And he's like, "We prefer to be called Native American." And you can obviously see that PJ doesn't know what he's doing because he went to get his papers and he dropped the papers out of the thing. So I thought that was really funny. And he's like, and then he even asked, "What seems to be the problem here?" And he's like, "I have a fish hook in my lip." And then he's like, "How did this happen?" He's like, "My dad's not a very good fisherman." I actually died laughing when I thought of that at first. And then PJ's like, "My dad's not a very good walking down the stairs, man." And then he yanks his fish hook, which he probably shouldn't be doing. And he says, "So I'm guessing you're a 97 pounder." And then back at the house, um, Teddy and Spencer are kind of like dancing with while she's telling to Charlie while Teddy's singing a lullaby to Charlie. And then Emmett comes up and Teddy's like, Emmett, why are you still here? And she's like, well, I was looking for the kitchen, but I seem to have stumbled upon the ballroom. And then Teddy gets a call from Mrs. Dabney, which I actually will pull up that she is played by Patricia Belcher. And if you see one of the Geico commercials where the pig was going at the office and she's like the office lady, that's her. Um, she's the office lady. Um, and she found, but first, before she can really say anything, I'm just gonna turn off my heater. I'm getting hot. So before she can really say anything, Teddy says, "No, I have not seen your cat." And he's like, "I'm calling about your brother. He's at my house." So then Teddy has to go get Gabe. So he tells Spencer not to go. So she tells Spencer not to go anywhere, and then she tells Gabe, Emmett. No, she tells Emmett to go somewhere. And Emmett says, "Okay, I don't know what you're doing calling to my girlfriend." And early in the episode, I forgot to mention this when I filmed the video the first time, and I forgot to again. PJ said to Emmett was like, I can't believe she's cheated on me. And PJ's like, no, you guys aren't in a relationship. It's all in your head. And he's like, no, you're not, because even my mom knows about it. So I guess he thinks she's his girlfriend, or he's trying to think that. And then Emmett says, Spencer's like, she's not your girlfriend. And Emmett's like, I think you and I should step outside. And then Spencer stands up and he's all tall and muscular. So Emmett says, so you can walk me to my bike. And then he leaves. Then I think we got to the next scene where PJ and is still at the doctor's trying to fit in. He sees Mom, so he freaks out, runs into another patient, and this one's all hairy and stuff. And and then the guy says, "Are you here to give me my sponge bath?" So he runs away. PJ runs away and gets caught by Amy, and then he accidentally knocks over the hospital curtain where Bob's room is, and then Amy's like, "Well, Bob, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "Bob fell down the stairs and broke his butt." And Amy gets all worried, saying, "You weren't holding the baby, were you?" Then he's like, "Yes, no, then yes again." And he's like, "Bob, I can't." And then she says, "Bob, you promised me you weren't gonna drop this one." And I think that was referring to that he dropped one of the kids. And I think later on we're gonna find out that it's PJ, the one that got dropped. So, and then and then Bob's like, "Honey, it was just a freak accident," with an amazing catch. And then Amy's like, "No, we can't do this. I never should have gone back to work. How could I have thought that I could go back to work and take care of 4 kids? I'm a horrible mother." And then Bob's like, no, you're not. If anything, I'm a horrible father. And then she's like, I know. And then PJ gives them like this talk about how they're great parents and how Pete and how him, Teddy and Gabe turned out pretty good, and that they're gonna help out along the way, and then if Charlie gets messed up along the way, then we'll all share the blame. And then PJ gets called. Then he says, Dr. Sandre Sulawan to the operator room, please. And then PJ's like, oh, it never ends. And then Teddy's next door at Mrs. Dabney's retrieving Gabe. And then I guess Gabe was gonna take a banana, so Mrs. Dabney made him give it back. And then I'm trying to remember. Oh, and then Teddy's like, sorry, Mr. Dabney, but you probably shouldn't have let him in. And Mr. Dabney's like, I didn't let him in. You go out through the cat door. So then Teddy's like, Gabe, is there something you want to say to Mrs. Dabney? And he's like, yeah. And you think he's gonna say sorry, but he's like, what are you fixing up tomorrow night? And then Mr. Dabney's like, the cat door. Gonna make sure it's locked. So then they leave. Gabe doesn't want to leave though, and Teddy's like, what are you doing? And Gabe's like, so you're suddenly interested in me? And Teddy's like, Gabe, you're my brother. I've never been interested in you. And he thought he got butthurt by this, and she's like, I'm kidding. And then Teddy says, and Gabe says, like I said before, ever since well, this is how he puts it at first. Ever since the new baby arrived, I'm just a loser middle kid, like you. And then Teddy's like, just because I'm a middle kid doesn't make me a loser. And then he goes, so what does make you a loser? And then Teddy's like, I am not a loser, okay? And I was like, and I was a little kid, and I was a baby once, and then you came along, and I was not happy about it. But then he's like, but you peed on PJ, and he's like, hey, yeah, I'll give you a shot. Uh, and then she's like, one day you're gonna feel the same way about Charlie as I do about you. The same way about Charlie as I do about you. And then he's like, so how do you feel about me? And Teddy's like, let's put it this way. The hottest guy in school is in our house right now, and I'm out here with you. I wonder if that was meant as like a sarcastic term or what, but I'm not sure. Um, and then they're kind of looking at how cute Charlie is, and then Charlie pukes all over Teddy, gets it in her ear and everything. And Gabe's like, I am warming up to her already. And then back at the house, Teddy finally puts Charlie down to bed, and Gabe ends up playing a video game. So then they try to kiss again, but Bob and PJ walked in, and Bob's under some anesthesia, so he's not with the world right now. So, and then he's like, I have a bruise coccyx. And then he says it a bunch of times. He says that word a bunch of times. And we hear a car horn beep, and Bob thinks that he farted. So he's like, oh, was that me? Sorry, I'm a little dumb right there. A little dumb down there. And Spencer's like, no, that's my ride. He's like, oh. He's like, of course it is. And then Bob being so whacked out, I guess he thinks that Teddy is Spencer, and Spencer is Teddy. So he shakes Teddy's hand and says, it was good to meet you, son. And then he kisses Spencer he says, good night, sweetheart, and kisses Spencer on the cheek, and Spencer's like, good night, sir. And then they're about to kiss again, but the horn beeps, so Spencer has to leave. And then Bob says coccyx again for like another funny thing. And then Teddy's making a video diary, and she talks about how you flew for the first time, and I didn't get like my first kiss or something. And he's like, well, the upside is, there is no upside. And then she gets a text from Spencer that he wants to hang out that he wants to hang out with her at his place, and she gets all happy and says that, yeah, I have to clean the puke out of that jacket. And then she gets like an advice. So if you ever, under any circumstances, meet a guy, don't ever bring him home. And then she says, because if you do, well, good luck, Charlie. And then she ends the video diary, and that's usually how like the episode kind of ends, and then they like to do this comedy skit afterwards. So that's usually how it would end. And then and the comedy skit is PJ cleaning up the guy I told you about who had wanted a sponge bath and had the hairy thing, and had hair, and it was all hairy all over the place. So the guy's like, I appreciate you so much for doing this, and PJ's like, well, what kind of fake dog would it be if I wasn't there for my patients? And then PJ asked the guy, so have you ever thought about shaving everywhere? And then the guy's like, I did last week. And then PJ gets all freaked out by this, and he's like, ooh. So that's how the episode ended, and I liked this episode. It was a good way to start off the show, to introduce all the characters. And yeah, this obviously isn't the greatest episode in the world, but it was good. And yeah, so you're gonna expect to see Good Luck Charlie reviews. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to do it, by the end of before the end of the series, because it's gonna end tomorrow. And yeah, but I wanted to start doing them every week, because I really do like this show. But that's pretty much it, guys. Now I'm gonna upload this video, and I'm tired, so I'm gonna go to bed. Expect to see the video. Maybe you can still watch it, but the custom thumbnail won't be up till like tomorrow or something. So that's pretty much it, guys. And I'm gonna be starting to do more non-wrestling videos on the channel. So that's pretty much it, guys. Peace out.